Hello YouTube, welcome to my tier list of Regulation I restricted Pokemon. Okay, so this list is going to be different from the one I was planning to upload, because like some restricted have very different viability and double restricted formats, some others we're going to get to. And also I'm going to be ranking these. I already made a pre-order of the restricted, so I'm just going to start with F tier. So F tier holds Mewtwo, well, I think it was Lugia. Where's Lugia? There, Lugia, Giratina, and Kyurem Black. Kyurem Black, right there. Okay. Since these I'm not gonna go over like in depth compared to the others, but basically Mewtwo, it's worse Calyx Shadow Rider. Lugia is way worse Pagos. Uh, Same thing with Giratina. I could actually I might move it up depending on it if I try it a bit more, but uh, it could maybe work with Zama, but I don't I don't think it's good. And Kyurem Black is I guess its own unique thing. It's like Baxcalibur if it was good, except it's not actually good because it's competing for a restricted slot that can't hit like Zamazenta, which is really bad, and some others too, like Zashian and Duskman, but that's another story. So yeah, it's just straight up not good. Okay, Giratina Origin. I'm putting this one in C because it's just more powerful, so it could do something with. It's not doing like bonkers damage or anything, but Shadow Sneak is something to get the jump on Calyrex Shadow. That's pretty much all it has going for it, in my opinion. Like Poltergeist is strong, I guess. There's Shadow Force if you want to use that. Which, to be fair, is also kind of okay since it breaks Protect. And then it's and then you have to fight over either running a physical set with Dragon Claw or a mixed set with Draco Meteor, which both can be bad. Like I guess you could run it on like a Trick Room Balance team with a mixed set, I guess. I don't know, it's a weird Pokemon. I don't suggest running it, but it's better than the things below it. Okay, signs right here. Okay, I'm just gonna close the other ones. Okay. So next up is Palkia-Origin. To be honest, I debated where to put this one, but I personally think regular Palkia is better for some reasons we're gonna get to in a little bit. However, the main one, the speed. Basically, Palkia is slower, which is actually better for it as a Trick Room setter. It's Palkia Origin, because it's a Trick Room setter, it's way too fast to be one. And then its own niche is that it can outspeed Modest Miraidon with like this much investment, which is a lot of speed investment, by the way. Now you could be hitting like a not like a wet noodle, but you're still not doing that much damage. Like I played against a Palkia, like a base Palkia the other day. It did a lot, but that's because it was probably like, modest or quiet. But then, so you have a speed boosting nature, you're just not doing nearly as much. Like you hit 202, so I guess some Calyrex Shadow Riders hit that if you feel comfortable like being called that because it's Calyrex Shadow Rider that's worse. Even has a build of one. Not no. Like you can like run Spatial Rend and Hydro Pump, which I'm gonna say is for quite a few restricteds today, but the stabs are inconsistent, and that is a pretty big turnoff. I mean, Spatial Rend only miss 5% of the time, but Hydro Pump, 20% miss chance. Seriously? Okay, yeah, that's not good. Oh, wait, that's the thumbnail. Blah. Okay. Next up, Kyurem-White. To be honest, I think Kyurem-White might have some like secret tech to it just because it does something none of the other restrictions do. It's choice specs, Terra Ice with Blizzard. That's pretty much all you do. You just put this thing next to like a Ninetales or a Tornadus, and you kind of just go crazy. The problem with it compared to last format is that wide guard is way more prevalent. Like out of the good wide guard users, there's Lunala, there's Zamazenta, and then even if we look down here, like our Wackaman is okay, and then Iron Valiant, Mienshao, Pelipper, like those are all Pokemon that you could expect to run into, besides maybe a Arachnid. But okay, besides that, wide guard's a lot more common, and also steel types are a lot more common. Because before, like you might see one on a team. Not good. Duskmane is kind of okay now. Dialga is also okay now. Zashian and Zamazenta are really good. And then even if we go down the list of non-restricteds, Heatran is okay, and then there is okay. That's surprisingly all of them. The non-restricted steel types are kind of bad. Okay, and I guess there's a Chaldon, but in short, it's gonna be harder to fit this guy on a team because it doesn't just nuke things like it used to, and also there's just not like a blatantly good offensive pairing for it. Like out of the restricteds you want for it, you can't go with the weather setters and you can't go with Terapagos, so that limits a lot. You can do uh you could do like base Palkia, I guess, if you want to get up Trick Room. I mean, I think the best idea here is Zamazenta because you could hit steel types. You can hit some things that ice types struggle with. Like, I guess they both struggle against fire, but at least you have earth power, right? Yeah, earth power. That's something, but yeah, I don't think it's worth running a Kyurem-White at the moment, unless you could find like some really good way to use it. Okay, so next, Solgaleo. It is worse Zamazenta, and I'm gonna tell you why. It has wide guard. That is all it does. It has wide guard, and you can like maybe try going like a weakness policy set with like a Pokemon with Bulldoze. Like, I type Bulldoze, not Tauros. What the? Huh? Oh, are you seriously all the Pokemon that get Bulldoze? Okay. Like Gouging Fire. You could do Bulldoze Gouging Fire, I guess, with weakness policy. But I'm saying it right now. You want to run Jolly so you get outspeed like crucial targets, or also just get like Landorus. But the problem, you're not hitting that hard after +2. Like even after +2, I struggle to OHKO Calc Shadow. Let me pull up the calc right now. Solgaleo, Jolly, Calyrex-Ice Rider. Okay, wait. Congratulations, you can get it after +2. I think I was just thinking of a different calc. But even then, like off rip, you can't do that. And with Sword of Ruin, it's a roll to kill if you're adamant, and that's like no physical bulk as well. So yeah, weak. Anyways, I have wait. Oh, I kind of forgot to create the F tier. Oops. Add row below. I'm just gonna move these guys real quick. F. Okay, yeah. I was looking at my what you call original image again. I'm like, wait, why is base Zashian in C? It isn't. Okay, anyways, base Zashian. The only reason why you'd want to run this thing over what you call full power Zashian is that you could hold clear amulet, and so people want to bring Incineroar into you less. But other than that, you do nothing. You don't have Behemoth Blade, which is a big problem. Like you could do Mirai Zacian stuff, but like I don't think clearing Amulet is worth it considering you have a Miraidon right here. Like just pair full power Zacian with a uh, Miraidon or a Kyogre. Just KO the instant and then bring it out later. Like it's not that difficult. Okay, what's next? Dialga. Okay. Base Dialga is going here because the bulk of it compared to Origin is not there. Special bulk, you want the special bulk, and also the damage of the globe is useful. And if you so basically, you want to have the globe for the extra damage, but at that point just go Origin. Is then you lose out on bulk. So you're only going Dialga on like a hard trick 'em team if you really want something like a safety goggles or like a psychic seed. Well, it's like no, don't. Just don't do that. Okay. Okay, it pains me to say this, but Zekrom is up next. Like the realistically, the only reason why you could get away with Zekrom is if I could pull it up. Right here. Uh, the only way I'm getting away with this is if you pair it next to Kyogre with the justification of Zekrom, Kyogre, Chanpal is a really threatening offensive core, which, to be fair, yeah, it is. Zekrom synergizes well with Chanpal more than Miraidon. And also, which we call it, is a second special attacking restricted. That's pretty much the only justification. Other than that, there's no real reason. Like, Terravolt is nice in some scenarios, like Terapagos, I guess. That's like about it. I'm sorry, but Zekrom does not do as much this format, even compared to the last one. No, it's just not that good. Like, maybe you could try pairing with like Terapagos on a Screens team, but like, even then, using Zekrom's unwieldy because like there's so many Zamazenta in the format. You don't even have the benefit of going through Shadow Shield, so like, it's just not good. Like, not at all. No. And on the same vein, Reshiram. I feel like it pains me to put Reshiram above Zekrom, but Reshiram can do something next to Groudon. You know, just on the fact it's like the strongest fire attacker in the game. With actually, wait, fire. Let me make sure I'm. Yeah, it's the strongest fire attacker in the game. In Sun, so those blue fairs are gonna be doing a lot of damage. The problem. Let me pull up a standard Reshiram moveset real quick. Then Trickle Meteor and Earth Power. Okay, if we look at the moves, the problem accuracy 90%, 90%, 85%. Even if you go Fusion Flare and no, not Dueling, Fusion Flare and Dragon Pulse, you don't do enough damage because now these are weaker moves. So the whole point is to do big damage. So either you don't do big damage at all, or you miss out on doing any damage a certain percent of the time. So it's just inconsistent. And also, most times you want Assault Vest just because its bulk is like not there for the speed it has. Sorry if you hear me drinking water a lot. I'm speaking a lot. I guess my voice hacking up some way. Okay, Rayquaza. So Rayquaza is the best one this year, just because it does so many others that no other restricted does. You go Clear Amulet, Terra Normal, Swords Dance, Extreme Speed, Dragon Ascent, and then Protect. The idea: you pair this next to Genpal, you put it next to either Zama or Cali Shadow. You take your pick, and then you just go crazy. Cali Shadow. Like if you get up one Swords Dance, you are gonna be doing lots of damage because like your attack stat is high, and you're gonna be Terra Normal. So basically, you have the power. You're stronger than a Choice Band Dragonite, which is crazy. Like a lot stronger actually. Like another like about 50% stronger. Kinda. It's close. Because max attack, that is a large stat right there. 222, big number. And then you just put in, like, you gotta do like balance with Zamazenta, or you could do like a wheezing Dozo stuff with Calyrex Shadow Rider, which I used last format with Rayquaza. Surprisingly, wasn't that bad. But yeah, so but Rayquaza just isn't the best because there's like so many ghost steals in this format. So, and also if you're not clicking extreme speed, you're very vulnerable because your bulk. It's 105, 90, 90, which is by no means bad, but for restricted, that's kind of like one of the more frail restricted. It's like, yeah, even compared to the modern age, they're still got pretty frail. So yeah, it rightfully goes into D tier. Now for C tier. This one's gonna get me a lot of hate on the video. But Zama Hero. Why is Zama Hero so high? I'm gonna tell you why. Zamazenta-Hero. Funnily enough, Zamazenta-Hero does have stuff over what you call it, like base Zamazenta, and there's specifically one thing it has: speed. And so what you do here is you go Jolly, you outspeed Miraidon and stuff like that. You go Imprison, Wide Guard, Protect, and Body Press. You're basically a Zamazenta built to deal with other Zamazentas 100% of the time. Like I run into Jolly Zamazenta on ladder 2. And its extra speed helps in that matchup as well. This is important because imprisoning on Wide Guard and Protect means the Calyrex Shadow on your side uh, is suddenly free to click whatever all the Astral Barrages it wants, because now you're not afraid of Wide Guard from Lunala or Zamazenta. And yes, you can't hit Ghost. That's kind of what Calyrex Shadow does. The same thing could be said about Terapagos as well, because now which we call Terapagos' worst matchup is Zamazenta, and now you could just prevent them from clicking their big moves, Wide Guard and Body Press. Then now you could click like Choice Specs, Terra Starstorms, like all the time, which is pretty useful. And then you could pair this thing with like a Grassy Seed, and then Rillaboom and Shenpao, and then suddenly this thing's doing like I had a game where this did like 90% to a Miraidon. Like, and here's the thing: I was running like 52 defense, and it still did 92 or like 90% to a Miraidon, which is wild. Like, though I wouldn't have put it up this high until I tried it, and it's actually like surprisingly good compared to like the clunky restricteds in D tier that I feel like weird to play. Zamazenta-Hero actually felt really good to play. Like it honestly, it legitimately felt good to play. Like that's if it does well in a GC or even a regional, don't be surprised. Because I'm gonna say it right now, I'm kind of calling it. It's gonna have someone's gonna use it. Now, Duskmane. Okay, so Duskmane is interesting just because it's kind of like Calyrex Shadow Rider. However, it has a few things over it. Prism Armor, really good ability. Not better than Chillingnay. However, if you're not focusing on sweeping and rather just doing damage, like outputting good damage, Photon Geyser and Sunsteel Strike are some really powerful and really consistent stabs. With, since you basically hit a lot of the format for good damage. Like, I'll use restricted. It's like the only one you struggle to hit is like Dialga, and then the rest is, you deal big damage to. Oh, why am I getting hiccups right now? Oh my god. So yeah, that's basically the whole thing of it. You just put a Trick Room and Protect, and you do things. Okay, let me just clear these out real quick. Okay, Eternatus. Okay, so oh my god, my hiccups are so bad right now. Why did I have to get it during recording? Okay, Eternatus. To be honest, Eternatus isn't that amazing. However, I feel I could have a niece with Choice Spec Sludge Wave. Like, the set that did kind of okay in Reg G. Next to a Zamazenta type thing, where you click Wide Guard, and and then just let yourself spam Sludge Wave. Or if you're Terra Poison, you just don't have to Wide Guard, and you just do whatever you want. Like, stupid hiccups. Like a strong Sludge Wave next to a Steel type is surprisingly really strong. Like I tried it out for GC last GC was good. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You could also technically pair it up with like Duskmane or Zashian, which also work. I mean, I guess Solgaleo too because it has Wide Guard, but like don't do that. But other than that, like I guess you could use it as a Life Orb attacker to just break through balance type stuff. But there's so many Pokemon that like so many restricteds that do balance breaking, like Koraidon, Miraidon to a certain extent, Zamazenta. So yeah, no. Dawn Wings. Okay. This does exactly what you think it's gonna do. It's gonna click Trick Room, like power Expanding Force, Moon Dice Beam, Trick Room, and Meteor Beam. You just use it alongside Calyrex-Ice to do big damage. It's not rocket science. You pair it next to Indeedee, you pair it next to like, Ursaluna, and then you just do stuff. Which, to be honest, I think Lunala is better with Calyrex-Ice Rider, which I'm not sure if it's a popular opinion or not, but just because you get Wide Guard. However, if you want a strong Trick Room attacker, there you go. That's like the go-to second strongest Trick Room attacker. Okay, and now we have Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh is an interesting case. I think Ho-Oh's best restricted pair is Terapagos for a few reasons. It does it has good matchups into Koraidon and Zamazenta because Koraidon don't run Dragon moves, so they can't hit it. And Zamazenta run Fighting and Steel, so they can't hit it. And then you hit them with Sacred Fires and you burn them, or in the case, or you do like big damage and you burn, or I guess you can't burn if which Koraidon Terras, or you can't do super effective damage if Zamazenta Terras. But that means they Terra, so instead now you get to click Terra Starstorm, and you also have and you also have Tailwind for speed control. You can have Life Dew as well, and then Brave Bird is also just a good stab as well. So it's basically just there for Terapagos, and you also deal with like Amoonguss. You can hit Urshifu on the switch if you feel like it. You could deal with Rillaboom. So yeah, it's not bad at all. Okay, last one is here, Dialga-Origin. Dialga-Origin is quite frankly just another Trick Room Pokemon, but it's more bouncy, so I like it more just because it has better bulk than Dawn Wings, and it also has telepathy, so you can pair next to Ursaluna, who can go for Earthquake next to it. So basically, you have big spread move that doesn't affect you, and then you could just click whatever you want. By the way, Dialga-Origin is strong. Like I was testing out bulky Koraidon. Draco Meteor knocked out a Terra Fire bulky Koraidon from like 90%, which is crazy. Like I honestly did not think Dialga was that powerful until I saw that. I was like, oh my god, wait, this thing might actually be kind of crazy. But other than that, pretty standard Trickermon. Okay, Palkia. Palkia starts off the B tier for just it's kind of same thought process as Dialga-Origin. However, it has a better stab and spatial rend, which I know I kind of complained about it earlier, but it's better than Draco Meteor. I'll tell you that. You also have telepathy. You can also hold an orb, and then what you call is your defensive typing plus the bulk is really good next to Calyrex. Oh my god, my hiccups are so bad today. I'm so sorry if that ruins the video for any of you guys. But I do not have time to make another recording. I got GC prep and stuff. But yeah, basically bulk and typing there. Next to Calyrex-Ice, you could do something. I know a friend did well with Calyrex-Ice, Palkia, and a tour. In fact, I got beat by Miraidon, Palkia, and a tour that specs discharge. They just clicked specs discharge next to Palkia, and they just got away with it. Anyways, next up, Terapagos. I know it's weird saying these two in the same tier, but I honestly thought Terapagos would be pretty bad this format. However, it has like I feel like people narrowed down that the Calm Mind isn't gonna work. It's gonna be Choice Specs and it's gonna be Terra Starstorm. Then you pair it next to like either a Zashian for a good like physical offensive partner, a Zamazenta for wide guard and maybe imprison, and also just because like they have some synergy outside of ghost types, and then Calyx Shadow Rider because it's Calyx Shadow Rider. Just spam big moves, force Terras. Okay, Groudon. Wait, Groudon was supposed to go below Terapagos, by the way. Oop. Groudon is okay this format. mostly due to the introduction of two potentially really strong partners. Miraidon, which similar to Palkia, you could throw Terra Electric Discharge next to it, and there's Lunala, which is just a good like wide guard Pokemon for Groudon that's worked in previous formats. And also, I think you have Gravity too. No, you do not have Gravity. Uh, what restricted get Gravity besides Kali Shadow and Eternatus? Okay, none of the ones that are actually worth running for this role. Okay, yeah, so don't bother with Gravity unrestricted. The only problem with Groudon, Precipice Blades. And also loses to Kyogre very hard. So if you're willing to get around that, it could work. So you give Kyogre, it's one I don't really like because you have to be at full health to click, or near full health to have strong water spouts. And then if you can't click water spout, there's Origin Pulse, which is inaccurate. However, I can admit, Swordfish is really good. Swordfish, Zashian and Kyogre, it was pretty good, and that's pretty much what puts it up here. Those Zamazenta-Hero is okay. Kai Shadow Kyogre is okay. Kyogre is okay. Like in in general, Kyogre is an okay restricted that's elevated by Swordfish. Now on to the A tier. Speaking of Swordfish, we have Zashian. Zashian is strong because now it has lots of partners to enable it, like the aforementioned Kyogre to remove its fire weakness, and then deal with like some pesky fire types, or just Miraidon as like a very strong special tagging partner, or even Calyrex Shadow for the same reason. And then basically what you do is you just click play rough and you click Behemoth Blade and you watch things go. To be fair, I'm not too experienced with talking about Zashian just because I rarely use it. However, yeah, it's good. It's good. Koraidon. Okay, so Koraidon, its whole deal this format is it is like one of the strongest attackers. You give it a clear aim or life orb, you Terrafire, you Flare Blitz, and then you pair next to like one of the ghosts, either CSR or Lunala. Lunala has Wide Guard, but Calyrex Shadow is like the strongest attacker in the game. So one of those two plus Koraidon is enough to justify using it because Koraidon pressures like Dark Terras or normal. They pressure Dark or normal Terras, which Koraidon likes, and then just yeah, Koraidon synergize with those well. There's another. Actually, I have the notes for Koraidon CSR on my desk. What Terra is that supposed to be? Is it supposed to be Terra? I can't read my own. I did a doodle of a Terra type, however, I can't tell what it is. Maybe I need the light off. Hold on. Yeah, I have no clue what the Terra type is referring to. It's something Koraidon struggles against. I have no clue what that could be. Oh, Terra Ghost. Yeah, Koraidon baits out Terra Ghost from like Incineroar and stuff, which Calyrex Shadow and Lunala could capitalize on. I do not know how it took me that long. Oh, that's kind of embarrassing. Anyways, Calyrex-Ice Rider. Okay, so it's basically in my original video, I made a good point about Calyrex-Ice Rider, which to put at number 1, but the point still stands. It is probably like one of, if not the best Pokemon in the game, period. And so that's really good bulk and really good attack. Like once you're in Trick Room, you could win games because Glacial Lance is really strong, and then there's so many good partners, right? You could have Lunala for like a secondary Trick Room setter with Wide Guard. You could have Palkia for another Trick Room setter that's more like offensive. And then you could also have Miraidon to Volt Switch out. So like, for example, Miraidon Furgraph. Like you could lead Miraidon Furgraph, and you got like Helping Hand and attack with Miraidon, or you could Volt Switch and Trick Room with Furgraph, or you could lead these two, and then you could just attack with both of them, or you could Volt Switch and Trick Room. Like so many options for this. Like it's really good, really good. Like playing that like alone, it doesn't have to put in Calyrex-Ice high, but has so many good partners. Yeah, not Lunala. I know Lunala over Calyrex-Ice Rider, kind of crazy, but my justification is that it's the other wide guard restricted, and also it's like so many tools to help out the team. Mostly wide guard, trick room, and an occasional tailwind if you feel like it. But also it has two really strong moves in Moongeist Beam and Meteor Beam, which just allow it to output so much damage that even though it's not the biggest threat on the field usually, it's still a really big threat. And even though it struggles with quite a bit in the last format, now you just pair it for restricted. That just beats those like Miraidon or Koraidon or Groudon or Calyrex-Ice, stuff like that. Now for the next tier, these are probably the top three. These are the ones I thought were gonna be top three going in. And to be honest, yeah, it's holding true right now. So okay, so right now it's Necrozma, Cosmom, and by the way, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, it's Zamazenta. So Zamazenta, take what Lunala said and just better. Like wide guard, better. It has Dauntless Shield, so not only do you raise its defense, which is really high by the way, but you make body press stronger. And so body press is like one of the most spammable moves, period. And then you just put Behemoth Bash there, then you run it next to like a restricted that like doesn't like the Calyrex, like Calyrex Shadow Rider, Miraidon, Lunala even. I've seen Lunala Zamazenta and it cooked me once. And then there's also Kyogre and Terapagos and uh Eternatus. Yeah. So basically, you just pair it with stuff that don't like want wide guard, and then you also have really good damage to complement that, which is really useful in this format. Which I know, not too much to say right now, but I feel like as we go higher up on the list, I don't need to say as much because these are obviously good. Miraidon. Miraidon is also really obviously good because you could go choice specs, and I could either go Terra Electric, Terra Fairy, and then you could just pair it with like Calyrex-Ice if you want to have like a Trick Room restricted. You could pair it with Zamazenta if you want to like a wide guard Pokemon that also like it just deals with like stuff like Rillaboom, or you could go Zashian for like just the strongest physical attacking partner. Like those right there are good, and just some its tools like it could deal big damage with Electro Drift, Draco Meteor. It could have a spread attack with either Dazzling Gleam or Discharge. And then you could also run Volt Switch to pivot out, while also doing insane damage, by the way. Like, Volt Switch, despite 70 base power, it does a lot with, like, the Hydra Engine multipliers, the Choice Specs multipliers, all that. Like, Marlon is the epitome of do big damage right away. It has no setup. But speaking of setup, number one, Calyrex Shadow Rider. This one is pretty self-explanatory. Now imagine this: Calyrex Shadow Rider. It wasn't top restricted last format in my respectful opinion, but now I think it is because even though Wire Guard's more common, you also get to pair it with a Zamazenta, which basically beats other Zamazentas, or you could pair it with a Koraidon to just really beat other Zamazentas and just add a lot of pressure. Like CSR plus one of these two like wins a lot of games on their own. Like CSR just like once wide guard is off the table, you could sweep games like right then and there. Like Terapagos and wide guard are like really the only problems for CSR. I don't guess hard trick room, but other than that, like once you get going, you know other restricted can win games. Like say Calyrex Shadow Rider, like maybe Calyrex-Ice or Miraidon, but still, like just the insane damage output after like one nasty plot, or even like choice specs, like for like either of those, like you could just steamroll a game like that, like in a snap of a finger, and no other restricted can do it just like that. And so yeah, that's my list of the restricted Pokemon. Do you agree with all this? Because to be honest, actually wait, was I gonna make any changes? I'm pretty sure I went through all this before, and this is final. But yeah, uh, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Next week I should make a video somewhat related to GC or Reg I. Not sure what I'm uploading next weekend. I hope to have enough time to soon I'll edit the Emerald Open video. It's just gonna take a while because I went pretty far, so it just so many matches to like record and stuff. Anyways, yeah, see you guys next time. Peace.